And it looks like an earthquake has hit Gotham City. The buildings are crumbling. There's so many bricks missing, and through the move and through the other builds I've been doing, that there's a lot of work that needs to take place. And also, a lot of these buildings and structures are not actually working out how I want them to be due to the potential new layout. So for example, here the water's coming around the corner and then it's abruptly stopping, and again, I just don't think that's how I want this part to look. So I do need to have a good think about all of the different buildings within Gotham and what buildings I want to bring in. So for example, now that I've got this large area, I do want to rebuild a Batcave. It's not going to be anywhere near as big as the previous one I had, and obviously the Wayne Manor on top of it. And what I'm considering doing is doing that down the far end of the room here. And at the moment I've just placed Arkham Island and Arkham Asylum down here, but what I'm considering doing is losing the actual island itself and having this as a cliff face or a rock face going all the way across the table there. Over that side, I'll have the Batcave and Wayne Manor, and then this side will be Arkham Asylum. But what I'll do is I'll put some tall trees between the two, so that when you're at Wayne Manor, you can't see Arkham Asylum, because I'm sure Batman or Bruce Wayne wouldn't have built or wouldn't have had his house that close to Arkham Asylum. But I think it could work quite well, and I could potentially even make it so that the Arkham Asylum is down lower than the Wayne Manor, so Wayne Manor will be up a little bit higher. So the rockwork will have a lot of character to it. And then I have the main road coming out and into Gotham City. The good thing with doing that is over on this side here, I can have it so you can look in from both sides there into the Batcave. And I could also have it so you can actually look inside at the back of Arkham Asylum, what's going on underneath it. So whether or not I do it so you can see into the entire of Arkham Asylum, rather than have to take all of the different floors off, that could potentially work. So yeah, I just need to have a good think about that, how I want it to look. The only thing is, if I don't put a back on here, then they won't be able to have an exercise yard around the back here. So I just need to have a good think about that. And but yeah, lots to think about. But I do think it'd be really good to have a road that goes down the centre of the table here, and I want to have it so you've got the actual Wayne Tower in the middle of the city, and the road will either go through it or under it, as well as obviously there's going to be a train line that's going to be going through the building as well. Now the old Wayne Tower, that's just over here for the time being. That does need to be shrunk down in size a little bit. As mentioned, it's too close to the roof. And I want to have a financial district and also the courthouse and things like that. And then quite close by to it, I want to have the shops. Now I do want to have a raised platform as before, and I want to have the train station on top of that. But then as the train leaves, I want there to be another platform, so it's 2 levels up then. So with this city, I want to try and make it so there are multiple different levels within the city, so I can try and cram in as much detail as possible. And I want to try and get some smaller builds in there. So at the moment, this is a gigantic building, but I want to have a lot more smaller detailed ones in there as well. Obviously, I need to build another building to go next to the Monarch Theatre, so we can have Crime Alley just down the side here. But again, whether or not this stays here, I'm not sure. I'm just a little bit overwhelmed at the moment as to what goes where, but I'm sure we'll get there. But I think what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to lay all the base plates over it, make sure that I've got enough of them, because obviously these are all Mills plated, so I can quite easily move them. And then I can have a good think about what's going where. And there it is. The table is all covered with base plates, with the exception of one very small square in the middle of 16 by 16. But I have got a base plate from my old Batcave, which was cut up, so I can fit that in once I found it out, so that's not a problem at all. And it's so nice to see this table all covered over with the base plates. And I think what I'm going to do next is plan where the roads are going to be going and also the train line. I think it's quite important to get that sort of thing sorted out early doors, and then I can build the buildings and plan the buildings all around that sort of area. So as I mentioned before, I'm going to have one main road coming down here, which is going to be an elevated road. Now what I want to do is have a couple of slip roads, one that goes up to the bridge and one that comes down, one that goes up to the elevated road and one that comes down from the elevated road. And that'll bring you to the lower road section of the city. But also want it so that the road veers off to the raised platform area, which I think is going to be over on the right-hand side. And that's also going to have the train station on there as well. So yeah, it's really exciting times ahead. I can't wait to get started and putting the bricks on there. You might be wondering what this massive bricks is there. A couple of base plates got bent. They'd fallen down behind a unit, hadn't realised, and they got crushed a little bit. So the bricks, just straighten them out and they're going to be absolutely fine once they're built on. But yeah, Gotham City, it's not looking too great at the moment, but it's such an exciting project to start with. And just seeing this scene here, I mean, these buildings aren't where they're going to finally be, but again, with the blue-black backdrop there, I do think it's going to look really cool once we've got a lot more work done to Gotham City. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know when the future content comes out on the channel. Now, at the moment, I am going to be working flat out on Gotham, but I want to try and get at least 2 updates out a week on Gotham City minimum. If there's a lot of content I can produce, it, I think it's quality content, then it might be more than 2 videos, but we'll just see how we go. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.